I was actually going to ask about the gang violence, but I believe that you mentioned this already. But before you go, I just want you to wrap up again the holistic approach that you're talking about. And we have about 1 more minute before we wrap. Just give it to me again, what you meant by the holistic approach, and then that'll be it.
I mean, it's holistic approaches in different places. When I mean holistic, I mean inclusive. I mean, we must include men and women in the discussion. We must include them in each program. It must be a program geared for them to have a better relationship. What are the issues women have? What are the issues men have? What are the type of bad behaviors men are displaying? What is the type of bad behaviors women are displaying? Where does it start? Where does it grow? Where does it grow? Where does it come to the point of murder? These are the discussions. We just can't have one narrative to go to speak that, all right, men, let's fix you. Because if you fix all the men and we don't pay attention to women, and there are some social ills that women are participating or they are carrying out as well, rather, aren't we not going to have a problem still? And that is what we need to realize. We have to be able to be honest, be introspective as men, as women, and have programs in place where we can strengthen the relationship between men and women instead of push a narrative that divides them. Because the current narrative that's being pushed is not appreciated, is not accepted, and is not received, particularly by men. And if we don't get men to get the message, then we're wasting time.
Mr. Fields, thank you so much for joining us in a different capacity. I know we normally have you here with the Automotives Association, but thank you so much for coming in this capacity and just sharing a bit about some of the things we can do to curb that violence, both domestic and school, that we're seeing. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good one. And that was Mr. Rondell Fields, who is a community activist and also the president of the Single Fathers Association. Raucous, Natasha, so much to unpack.
Yeah.
Now, the viewers didn't see it, but while Mr. Fields was speaking, your heads were nodding like, yes, I agree. Tasha, let me hear you.
I mean, you can hear the passion in his voice and some of the things that he said. One thing that stuck out to me was, you know, the fact that violence starts early and we need to start pinpointing it from early on, not wait until we see the culmination of all the years of trauma and violence and abuse. It's culminating, let's say, a murder. We need to deal with it at the root, at the beginning. That was where I was like, yes.
Raucous.
I mean, we spoke about that same thing yesterday, right? Where it's like you see the red flags from early and you kind of point them out. But one of the things I wanted to mention is that I remember the Ministry of Community Development was working on a mediation program that would go into communities and train people in the communities who are already like, I don't know what to call it, but you know, every community have the trusted neighbors, the people who you go to for advice, who you go to for whatever, and they wanted to train those people in mediation so that the same thing that Mr. Fields was talking about, where instead of going to a police station, you can go to this person in the community and say, we having this problem, how we fixing this? Because I'm vexed, and I think, and she only doing this, or he only doing that, and you know, and sort it out from a community level before it gets to having police intervention. I remember that there was that program in place, or at least starting up. Maybe we can touch base with the Ministry of Community.
No, I will. I'll probably do some research and see, you know, where that program is. One of the things he mentioned as well, and I know, Raucous, we were talking about it yesterday, we can't fix the man without fixing the woman. Because as a woman, you need to know.
And vice versa, right?
No, but I mean, the point that he was making is obviously the most violence you see are meted out against women.
Right.
And so the point he was making is that we want to fix all the men in the world, but the women also have problems as well.
Correct.
You understand? And they as well could be, you know, perpetrators of violence. And so if we're fixing that, then we also need to fix ourselves as well. And I think we were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's about the balance, right? We need to fix humans in general.
Exactly.
But then one of the things that he said coming on to the end there was the importance of having the message reach to men. Because the way that the message is oftentimes delivered, it's definitely, you know, women are victims and we want to protect and ensure safety of our women, but we don't necessarily focus on how we're going to fix the men that perpetrate the same situation. So we need to fix both sides. We need to fix people who are I don't want to call them instigators, but they have some people who just poke the bear just to see what will happen now, boy. And that I think is a bigger problem than we realize.
Yeah, because they are dealing with their own traumas as well.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
So they need healing as well.
And
again, hurt people. Yeah, hurt people.
So how do we fix the hurt people?
Yeah.
I think that's where we have to start, by fixing the hurt people.
I agree. You know, one of the things that he mentioned as well was the fact that we don't have shelters for men.
Well, we
have
mentioned
shelters.
that yesterday.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
a big deal yesterday.
Yeah.
Bacchanal in the place yesterday.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
What makes sense?
I mean,
That
we need
don't
to
have
have
none?
that we
Oh.
need to have shelters for men, and it's a
Rokas.
big deal because
Yes.
we should provide that. As he spoke about, like abuse, men don't come forward because we don't give them a space
We
to
have
feel
shelters for
safe.
men. We just call them jail.
Is that a good place to take a break? I think that's a great place to take a break. Trinidad and Tobago.